Hi, and welcome to Behind the Apps Mobile Marketing Talks, a video interview series brought to you by AVOW that takes you behind the scenes of the mobile marketing world. I'm your host, David Murphy, and in each episode, I'm going to sit down with the innovators and leaders who are shaping the mobile industry, diving into the stories, strategies, and insights behind the world's most successful apps. So, whether you're a marketer, developer, or just passionate about mobile tech, you're in the right place to discover the secrets of mobile marketing. So, without further ado, let's get started and explore what lies behind the apps with our special guest today, Sotiris Sotriadis, who is paid media team lead at Exness. Sotiris, welcome and thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me in your show. It's a pleasure.
Good stuff. So, could we kick off just with a little bit about yourself and your role at Exness?
Yeah, of course. So, yeah, as you already mentioned, I'm Sotiris. I've been working at Exness for the last 3 years. I have started working at Exness as a paid search team lead, and eventually I grew into a paid media team lead, taking care of for the whole media buying of Exness across all the geos and regions that we are operating on. I total accumulate 8 years in the industry, and working at Exness has been like really an exciting journey, going through the changes that are happening in the marketing industry and the way that we do things. So yeah.
And Exness as a company, just give us a very quick intro to them.
Yeah, so Exness is a financial services company. In other words, we are a multi-asset trading broker. We offer people the opportunity to trade CFDs in multiple instruments, including currency pairs, cryptocurrencies, stocks, shares, and precious metals. And we do offer them the opportunity to trade these assets with leverage. And yeah, that's it pretty much. That's what we do.
Good stuff. Excellent. Now, if we move on to your app, just a quick background on that. When did it launch? What do people use it for? How many of those users have you gotten, and how do you monetize it?
Yeah, so our main app is called Exness Trade on the go. It's pretty much the idea of the app was introduced in 2013, and it was mainly introduced for acquisition purposes, digital acquisition purposes, as the industry back then, like the trading industry, financial services trading industry, was focusing on terminal based trading through MT4, MT5, or alternative platforms. But the company understood that there is an opportunity there for us to onboard and expand our acquisition through mobile traders, thinking of them as, not the professional guys that will trade on terminal, but people that do it more casually, let's say. So that's how the need of the app came up. Mobile screen time back then was steadily increasing, and that's why it moved business sense to move the acquisition strategy towards mobile. The purpose of the mobile app is actually, to onboard users, and we do medium buying. We rely on medium buying heavily for the app, and what we monetize through is through deposits. Of course, that's the value based monetization, and from those deposits, the company has some spread revenue profits, which is perfectly aligned. What we do on the mobile is perfectly aligned with the strategic direction of the company.
Sure. So your revenue stream is exactly as it would be if people were trading on any other channel using the Exness platform. The app just offers them an easy way to do it from the palm of their hand, wherever they are.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, 100%.
What are your biggest challenges right now? There's a lot of stuff going on from a tech perspective, from a regulatory perspective, all the stuff around data privacy. You're obviously working in a heavily regulated industry. So what are you seeing at the moment?
What you mentioned is actually the biggest challenges that we are facing, and regulatory backgrounds in the countries that we are operating are, like a bit gray area, let's say. So we have to comply on following the certain laws and certain regulations. But on the other hand, because of the industry, there has been cases of similar companies that are doing some non-ethical, let's say, activities, and therefore the industry is heavily regulated and heavily monitored as well. And this applies down to the platforms that we are using. In the past years, it was way easier for us to run ads on, let's say, Google, on Facebook, and other platforms. But nowadays, this comes with a big regulation, a big moderation challenge. So this is leading us to the understanding the importance that we need to diversify our acquisition channels. And this is what we have been doing with AVOW specifically, but also many other channels. On the tech side of things, of course, we are facing attribution challenges, which are inevitable for any advertiser, I believe. And we are working internally at Exness with a very sophisticated approach on understanding the impact of advertising through using multiple sources, multiple solutions, and multiple approaches, such as alternative kind of attributions, MTA, multi-touch attribution, MMM, and post-view performance understanding through geotests and through A/B experiments.
So I was going to talk specifically about user acquisition, and my first question was going to be about how you've traditionally acquired new users. I think you've sort of covered that. You talked about using Google and Meta, but some of the regulatory demands have led you to look for other sources, other channels. When it comes to the mobile OEMs, the handset makers, when did you first start turning your attention to them?
I would like to also add, before I answer this question, is that the industry and Exness is heavily driven by partners and affiliate, which are still a massive part of our user acquisition strategy. But yeah, correctly, as you mentioned, in digital acquisition, specifically media buying, we have been focusing on Facebook and Meta. And I believe that we started looking into OEMs in early 2020. We started mainly with AVOW's help. And the reason leading us to that was to try to reach audiences through multiple inventories that were very aligned with the countries that we want to target, such as on devices such as Xiaomi, Vivo, Oppo, or Huawei, which this is the inventory that AVOW let us access. These devices are very aligned with the countries that we the usage of these devices are very aligned with the countries that we're mostly interested in, such as Southeast Asia.
Okay. And how was that going for you working with the OEMs?
We have managed to obtain very comparable CPAs in OEM versus other acquisition channels. Not at the same volume, of course, but the quality and the CPA was very good and very on spot with our targets and comparable with the mainstream, let's call them traffic sources. And it has been especially helpful for us, to maintain market share and scale up, especially in countries where we experienced limitations in advertising from Google or Meta. And as you probably know, India, Indonesia, and some other countries are not eligible to run financial ads on Google. So AVOW has been a great avenue for us to keep investing in those countries and keep getting acquisition.
Good stuff. So just looking ahead, what is the outlook for your UA strategy going forward?
I believe one of the main outlooks will be to keep diversifying our channels because we have faced this in the past, and I'm pretty sure that we're gonna face it in the future. We need to be diversified in case that platform change regulations. We don't wanna be putting all of our eggs into a single basket. Platform policies can change, and they can change quite fast. And on our side is our responsibility to keep user acquisition to be effective and to be working. So we need to be diversified. Of course, with the platforms and the channels that we're using, we need to understand how they actually perform through conversion lift studies, brand lift studies, geo lift experiments, and MMM ultimately will be the solution that will help us on all strategic decision making. And I know that this is not 100% relevant for Exness, but for companies that focus in the EU, we expect the alternative marketplaces that companies are introducing to be another element to look for when thinking about user acquisition, diversification, and cookieless future. The whole industry is heading there. So we need to keep exploring and implementing and actually testing and understanding how different measurement works, because at the end of the day, it's not about the actual measurement. It's about the decision making that each measurement protocol will allow you to do. So
Sure.
That's pretty much my outlook for user acquisition in the near future.
It's interesting. It's any of these conversations I have with people that are doing app marketing for successful apps. You seem to sing from the same hymn sheet, which is a couple of things. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. You've got to keep refreshing your sources of new users. And secondly, just because it works today doesn't mean it's going to work tomorrow. You've got to keep testing, you've got to keep learning. And I guess to some extent, you've got to keep failing because by testing, you find out what's working and what's not working. It's really interesting. Now, if we just finish off with a few quick questions about your work with AVOW, what role would you say they played in your app's marketing and growth strategies?
I would say that AVOW played a crucial role in our app marketing and growth strategy, because it was the first company that helped us tap into user acquisition through OEM channels. So it was the company that presented to us the alternative strategies that can use on top of our user acquisition strategies. And pretty much AVOW has helped us kickstart partnerships with multiple OEMs, including Xiaomi, Vivo, Oppo, and Huawei. And this efficiently enabled us to start testing and scaling up campaigns in various geos in a very short time frame.
Sure. And in amongst the sort of general picture of sort of satisfaction, I guess, are there any specific successes or milestones that you can point to in working together?
Yeah, we got a few milestones and successes that we can share with you. Of course, between Q4 2023 and Q1 2024, we have a major campaign transitioning for Indonesia. We were running APK campaigns with Xiaomi, and we wanted to transition our budget to another app available on the Play Store for the same geo. So with AVOW's help, we have managed to transition very smoothly, but we also drastically improved the acquisition performance, meaning that with the same spend, the CPI campaign drove much more registrations at a 14% lower CPR, cost per registration, and reduced our cost per FTD by 66%, and which led into an expected revenue increase by 10x, which is amazing. I believe the availability of extra placements provided with the help of AVOW led us to qualify more sophisticated traders that led to this improved profitability that I just described. And this is an incredible win, which was made possible through very close collaboration with the AVOW team. and the very sharp, I would say, performance optimization of the campaigns.
And finally, Sotiris, any lessons that you've learned or insights that you've gained from working with AVOW?
We've gained great insights and great lessons working with AVOW. And what I would like to say is that our partnership with AVOW started 4 years ago and lasted since 2020 and keep remaining strong since. AVOW has been with us on every step of the way, supporting us on our OEM user acquisition strategy, and with the Exness media buying team as we scale, as we go through restructures, as we go through waves of problems. AVOW has been supporting us since then. OEM marketing, at least for Exness, is here to stay. It offers us high conversion traffic and low fraud rate. And we are glad to have the experts of OEM marketing AVOW to help us succeed in this.
So, Sotiris, thank you very much indeed for sharing those insights with us today on working with AVOW and the OEM. It's been great to have you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So, ladies and gents, that's a wrap for today. Thank you for tuning in to Behind the Apps Mobile Marketing Talk. Special thanks, I say, to Sotiris from Exness for joining us today. For more insights and expertise on mobile user acquisition and app growth, head for AVOW.tech, the mobile OEM advertising specialist. I'm David Murphy. Until next time, keep exploring what lies behind the apps. Bye, everyone.